Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers from Andertons, and this is Damon Chivers from Fender.
Yes, how are you? You all right, Rob?
I'm awesome.
Excellent. Nice to be here, as ever.
Damon, this, as you well know, because you're from Fender, is the incredible Supersonic Twin from Fender. I'd like to know everything about it, please.
Okay, well this is the third Supersonic amp that we've released. There's a little 22 watt one, like a deluxe reverb. Then there's the 60 watt, and this is the big one. This is the 100 watter.
This is the big boy.
This is the big boy. This is like the 100 watt version, designed to be on stages, arena stages all around the world. So the whole idea, if you will, the ethos of the whole Supersonic range is to marry classic vintage Fender clean tones, which we all love, obviously, twins, bassmans, that kind of thing, with a high gain modern lead channel.
It's got quite a lot of gain, hasn't it?
It has got quite a lot of gain, which I'm sure you will be utilising.
I may exploit to my will.
At some point.
We did actually plug a cheeky ESP in today, and it sounded quite nice.
It sounded quite monstrous.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Probably not what you would expect from a Fender amp. So.
No. It's a weighty monster, but the other thing is that it's 100 watts.
Yeah.
But you can step it down, can't you?
You can. It has a switch on the back that says arena or club. So if you're playing in an arena, I don't get to do that much. Do you?
Not
as
yet.
much as I'd like. Not yet. Yeah, so that's running full 100 watts, yeah? So that's 4 6L6 power tubes. But you can switch it down to 25 watts. So you get less clean headroom, and it will break up earlier and distort more at lower volume.
So if you want the headroom for the cleans, you stick it to the 100 watts.
Absolutely.
If you want just pure filth
and
then
dirt
amongst other things, you step it to 100 watts.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So 10 down to 25, yeah.
So let's just start with the clean side of this dark beast.
Yes, the clean side, very simple, treble, middle, bass, volume controls, as you would imagine, and a gain control. But the most important or the most interesting thing is we can switch between two distinct voices. So we have a twin reverb, okay, like a blackface twin, one of the greatest, most sparkly, spangly clean sounds you'll ever get, or a bassman, which is more gnarly and hairy and mid-rangey. But the idea there is we can go from the classic blackface sparkly clean sound to a more aggressive kind of chunky bassman sound. So if you go on to, for instance, if you're on the 25 watt setting and put it onto bassman, you turn it up, you'll get a lovely crunchy rock rhythm.
So it begins to break up.
It will do,
that kind of classic bassman,
especially with a humbucking pickup guitar. So here is a bit of a classic bassman type tone. And here is a more of a classic blackface twin kind of a sound.
Damon, tell me about this gain side then.
Okay, so we've looked at the clean side. The gain side is where all the high gain shenanigans occurs. Do you remember, for instance, the Pro-Sonic combo?
I do, because I really liked it.
So there was that, and there was the Tone Master Head, which are the kind of the two amps that really have been recognised from Fender to have great lead sounds. So what we've done is we've kind of modelled it on that gain channel. So you will see we have not one, but two gain controls, which is obviously twice
Twice
the
the
amount.
gain of 1.
Absolutely. So what happens is, we have a master volume control there. What happens is the first gain control essentially slowly brings the dirt. Yeah, so that's the one that kind of makes it grainy and dirty and distorted. So if we have it on 1, it's almost clean. It's just a little bit crunchy. Okay, so sort of around here we get into the kind of the classic Stonesy rhythm thing, classic rock stuff. Turn it all the way up. That's kind of maximum gain. And then what gain 2 does...
Oh, hold on. Why don't we do that right now? So bring it down to number 1. Play me some moderately clean filth. And now why don't you bring it back up to halfway house and play us some even more moderately dirty filth. And now, bringeth the doom.
Let's crank this baby.
Crank the baby up. That's gain stage 1.
Exactly.
So the gain stage 2?
Gain stage 2, essentially what it does is it takes the sound, it fattens it, and compresses it.
Damon, I noticed this thing here called a notch tune. Why don't you tell me all about it?
Okay, and what the notch tune is a kind of a sweepable mid-range control.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the traditional treble, bass and middle. So if you're looking for your scooped metal sound, obviously we would do this, you know, or more of a kind of a forced British tone, push the mid-range through a little bit more. But what we can do is with the notch tune, it emphasises either the lower end of the mid-range when it's around here, and as we sweep through it, it kind of moves along until right round that end we're looking at the upper mids of the mid-range.
I noticed it's quite a point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite accurate, and it gives you a really unique voice depending on where you place it.
Exactly, it gives you a real... You can change, essentially, I think the idea behind it was to be able to replicate either that kind of quite pushed mid-range Britishy sound or a slightly more American tone.
This is the most effective of these type of filters I've noticed on an amplifier, I have to say.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say.
Well, I'm just saying it because it's honest, you know. Yeah, it had a really nice, interesting sound to it.
Yeah.
You can take it from sort of almost nasal, you know, throaty, kind of various body areas.
Yeah.
And it just sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we should hear that right now.
So do I. And of course, as on all the USA Fender amplifiers, we have tube-driven classic Fender long spring reverb as well.
Long spring.
For luscious clean tones.
Okay, and should we have a little listen to sort of that?
Let's have a little,
I guess a little tiny bit, and then half, and then a full amount.
Big splash.
Do it, baby!